This is Aminata. Taking up a few minutes of your day. We actually made it past day 7. This is day 8. Wow. Um, so I had my morning walk, and something came for me to tell you. Actually, starts with a story. So, think Nassim was like 6, which means my other son must have been like 11 around that time. Um, and at the time I was working in the university, and I had one of those ecumenical centers, one of those centers on campus where you had different ministries, different religions for the students. So they had an evening program. I know it was about Islam or Ramadan, um, and I can't remember if it was specifically about Islam or if it was about various religions. Anyway, so I took them, and so there were instructions about, or people were explaining about Ramadan, and there was good food too. I remember that, and and I would take my children to these kinds of events. And the interesting thing is, my children, they were just horrified, especially Nassim. So what you mean? These people don't eat, And so for the longest, whenever Islam, oh yeah, that religion where people don't eat, and that felt so sad, just horrible, just wow, how rough, people don't eat, and it's like no, they are fasting, and it's anyway. So for the longest, their face would instantly turn, oh yes, Ramadan, oh yes, that's so sad for those people. He was also the one, because they went to Catholic school, and he was also the one who came to me, is like, Ma, where can I sign up to be Catholic? Because, they have crackers during service, and I don't get to take crackers because I'm not Catholic, so where can I sign up? And I was like, okay, that's not how this works. So anyway, that's my child. Um, and a couple of months ago, not that long ago, he called me, um, and he had a school project. I think it's for English class, and they had to work in a team, and they had to present a religion. And he was like, well, of course they want to do Christianity because that's easy, everybody knows that. So he said, so he decided, we are not going to do Christianity. So they did Hinduism, I believe. And at the time he's like, oh man, that's cool, but inside I'm like, yes, that's my boy, yes. um, I don't know, that just hit me, because one of the messages I got these past days is to do Ramadan. And I have friends, and my cousin in particular, who've done Ramadan for years and who are not Muslim themselves. And it started out of solidarity, you know, um, but they do it. And I've always respected that. And I had no intention of talking about that publicly, because it's like, there's, I think, 1.2 billion Muslims in the world who all do Ramadan, or, a lot of them do, I'm sure. So the fact that one non-Muslim is going to do Ramadan is insignificant. Um, but that's not what this is about. What came to me is that I had to tell you. So when I got the message about you have to do Ramadan, one thing I knew is about more than just not eating, Nassim. Um, and so I called one of my sister friends, somebody who I respect highly. Uh, and I told her, something told me that I want to do this. And she said, oh, that's great. Are you going to be all the way in? I said, yeah, I want to be all the way in. And I also particularly, I know it's about more than the fasting. I know the fasting is a means too. So can you help me, tell me what it means and what I should do? And of course she told me. But I have her. I have her. And how beautiful that is. And I've been to Christian church. I've been to the Baha'i. I've been to the Buddhist temple. I've been to the Hindu temple. I've been to the mosque. I've been to the Jewish temple. But I've also gone into the sweat lodge. I've also gone to the Vinti Pre. I also walk by the water. I also find a 200-year-old tree and lean against the tree. So, all that to say, our spiritual nurturing, whatever form that may take, comes from many different ways, comes from many different places, many different forms, and they are there to sustain us and nurture us and to help us make sense out of the world. And so even those, who do not, are atheists, you have something that nurtures you, that feeds you. Like I said, for me, when I walk in the morning, in particular by water, that nurtures me, that feeds me. Put your feet into the earth, lean against a tree, whatever. There's something that nurtures you and feeds you. And so I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to call one of your friends, and just ask them what nurtures them, and it can be their religion, their faith, but it can be something else. Um, just as a connection, just as an appreciation, just as something that perhaps can feed you, because these are the things we don't necessarily talk about. I know with my friend, she's quite private, in particular because of the racism that she and so many Muslims in this country experience. It's just unbelievable in this country, and not just here. So, but I admire how she carries her faith, and that's why I called her, and I am blessed to have her, but all kinds of people in my circle. I went to the Buddhist temple because of a friend, because I wanted to see, what fulfilled her. And so I went with her, and I learned the whole Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I've learned that. In Suriname, I took my students to the Hindu temple, and, it was the most beautiful ceremony, the most, wonderful ceremony in 4 different languages, specifically adapted for us. And, so those experiences enrich you, those experiences connect you, and we shouldn't be afraid of what we believe in. We shouldn't be afraid of what upholds us, or afraid of the ridicule or the silencing. And part of holding space for each other is to say, I appreciate you, all of you. So teach me, or share with me. I don't have to convert, but I want to hold that space for you and embrace all of you and honor all of you. So that's what came to me today. I haven't moved yet. As soon as I finish this, I'm on my way to my mom's house. So have a great day. And so please connect with somebody just to find out what moves them, and that in turn will move us. Have a great day.